I've got a new driver to test out, and in today's video, I'm gonna go over the 5 crucial things I pay attention to when potentially putting a new driver in the bag, and hopefully these 5 things can help you make the best decision about your new driver. Oh yeah, and we're also gonna see just how freaking good the Stealth 2 is. First thing I pay attention to before anything else is the look. I mean, if this is something you want to play with, you're looking down at it, 14 times around. Do you like how it looks? If I'm honest, I prefer the matte look of the first Stealth. Found that to be incredibly appealing and just pleasing to my eye. I've used TaylorMade drivers since 2012, so I just straight up like the look. I'm so used to the look of TaylorMade drivers. But looking down at it, I like how much face I see. I like how it sits at address. It passes the look test, and that's the first most crucial thing you gotta pay attention to, because if you don't like looking at it, you aren't gonna like hitting it. So the next thing I'll pay attention to is the sound test. What does it sound like? Do I like how it sounds? With Stealth last year, TaylorMade, we went to a carbon face. So that sound is much more like a dead sound, but it also kind of meets that kind of deader punch feel, which is what I'll talk about next, is the feel. I've gotten used to the sound of carbon. I tested a driver out a month and a bit ago. There was a titanium face, and that sound was so tinny. Drivers used to sound like 2 years ago, but a full year of using a carbon face, carbon head, I've grown quite fond of that sound. So Stealth 2, it definitely passes the sound test, because again, if you get a driver that you do not like the sound of it, you are certainly gonna not like hitting it. And the sound of carbon is very solid, which translates to the feel. The feel, you can kind of look at that in a few different ways. The feel can be of the club head, the shaft, but that's gonna kind of be more contingent on the shaft you have, how that feels, the weight of it. The feel of impact, that's something that I've always really paid attention to. What it feels like at impact. And TaylorMade drivers, yes, I've used them for over a decade. I really like how they feel at impact. In the last few years, the Sims, maybe the M5 had this, and now the Stealths, they have this kind of solid, punchy feel. I love that feel. I don't like the kind of tinny, hollow feel. Never have. I kind of used it, made it work for a while, but I've never liked that feel. But the solid, punchy feel, it's kind of what I grew up with. Titleist 975D kind of started that. A steel shafted driver, solid, punchy feel. It's fast feeling, but it just feels like kind of old school. And I'm definitely a little more old school in what I like a driver to feel like. So this thing, it passes the look, it passes the sound, it passes the feel. Okay, so this driver, I've actually played one full round of golf with it, and we filmed it. It was the most recent episode of Route 66, and you got to see what this driver did when I hit it perfectly or I hit it well, but you also got to see what it did when I didn't hit it well. And those are the next 2 things I want to pay attention to. And yes, it's one thing to do that on the driving range and test it out on a launch monitor, but you need real golf course scenarios. So we're going to the golf course and we're going to see these 2 parts of my 5-part testing protocol. That thing was hit so far off the heel. Obviously the carry was quite down, the ball speed down, but we still got away with it. But if we look, my launch, my spin, these are the numbers I want. Club head speed's a little low. Ball speed, I mean, these are early morning warm-up driver swings, doing exactly what I want it to do when I hit it well. By this measure, it passes the test. You've seen one that I didn't hit well, it passed that test. Kind of a pull. Okay, so we'll go up and see where those ended up. One of them was pretty solid. The first one was pretty weak. The second one was like a good solid pull, but obviously a mishit. And that kind of plays into, I know I said I'm gonna come out here and see what it does when I hit it perfect, but you don't hit it perfect a lot of the time. You mishit it a lot of times. So what does it do when you mishit it? That's a huge criteria to pay attention to when you're testing out a new driver, because yes, when the numbers are dialed, when the swing is perfect, oh yeah, we want that dream scenario, but we don't get that dream scenario. So what does it do when we mishit it? That's the rub. That's the thing, and that's what I pay attention to, because in the Route 66 video, there was 2 mishits I had that were my usual mishit, kind of a high heel spinner on the 5th hole and on the 10th hole. On the 5th hole, that drive, literally a week prior with my old driver, left me an 8-iron into the green. I had a pitching wedge into the green with the same mishit. And on 10, that mishit would have gone in the bunker, but in this video, it went over the bunker. I had 98 yards. Big, big difference. Those were mishits that didn't hurt me. And that's something you need to look for when you're testing a new driver. Do the mishits hinder the game, or do they help the game, or do they perform better than the mishits with your current driver? So there we go. There's the first, there's the second, there's the third. So all 3 of those, 2, 1 bad, 1 good, 1 not so good but better result. Look at that. I'm in the fairway with all of them. That's huge. That's a big win. That's a big thing that I'm taking away from testing this driver. All right, I know I said there was 5 things, but here's the 6th, the added bonus feature if you're still watching the video. The question you ask yourself, is it better than your current gamer? Because yes, you can test a new driver. It can meet all the criteria, but if it's not, if it's the same or just marginally better than what you're using, you don't necessarily need to get a new driver. So that's the added 6th special bonus question. Is it better than what you're currently using? When I ask myself that question, I'm going based on the solid hit and the miss hit. That's all I'm paying attention to. The solid hit from playing 1 round with it, comparing it to a year of playing with the Stealth. The solid hit, I like it more. The flight of it just seems a bit stronger, seems a bit faster. Could be the shaft going to the Ventus Blue TR from 3 years with Ventus Black. Head to head, I prefer Stealth 2. The miss hit, like I just said back there, it wins that category too, because I hit my miss hit twice in a round of golf where I've hit that miss hit before, and I was considerably better positioned with Stealth 2. So that's why Stealth 2 is going in my bag. Easy peasy. I can't wait to play with this driver all year, because like I said in another driver video, if we use it, I think that speaks volumes. But let's go. Final test, head to head, driver versus driver, Stealth 1, Stealth 2. Let's just see which one swing is better. The major showdown. Stealth versus Stealth 2, 1 swing, which driver is better? I'm gonna try to make the best possible swing I can with each of these. Here we go, Stealth 1. That was just super high, off the toe. Look at that launch angle. Got away with it. Not sure how accurate that carry number is, but try to hit the exact same shot. Let's see if I can do that. How good am I to just replicate a high toe miss hit? No, I just roasted it. Wow, that's good. Just feels better to me. It's just overall a better driver. See you in the next video. Psych. Let's hit Stealth again. Let's try to hit another good one with the first Stealth so we can get a good comparison, good head-to-head comparison, not a high toe crapper. Pull. I mean, the sea level setting is probably why, yeah, it launches a lot higher. I just like the ball flight and the consistency of Stealth 2 and that shaft. It's a freaking winner. See you in the next video.